Hello everybody, one time episode of Micks Mowers. In today's episode we're going to take a little look at one of the mowers from a part of the job lot. I've been working my way through them. Some you'll see, some you won't, some are just like gasket and diaphragm fixes. But on today's bench we're going to be having a Mountfield 454 hand propelled one, just a push one. It came in as part of that job lot and it needs a little bit more bits and pieces doing to it. I don't know if it runs, haven't even tried it, but we shall see. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty, let's check out this Mountfield 454. Right, here it is. It's in pretty rough shape. The handles are all broken on the bars. They've snapped off. So, fortunately for me, I've been going to see Pete Froud. He's got a labyrinth of mower spares, bits and pieces in his shop, and I've been up there and robbed him blind. He gave me a load of grass boxes and some handles which I needed, and just some bits and pieces in general. So, cheers for that, Pete. Much appreciated. Hopefully, it'll all go towards getting this little mower up and running. So let's get it up to about the third level. Gonna be about there. Lock it off and drop it down to a peg. That'll be about there. So that's where we are now. First things first, I'm gonna try and just get the machine just to pull over, just to start, if it will. And once we know it's a good engine, we'll then carry on. But it may just be a short video. Maybe the engine's absolutely knackered. Okay, all I've done so far is just take the plug out, give it a clean up. Just going to put some carb spray down on the head, and just going to wind the spark plug back in. Once that's in, we're going to just try and quickly start it. Just want it to fire, don't need it to run. And if it just fires, then we know we're on a winner with this little engine. They're generally pretty good. They don't tend to fail very much. But saying that, everything has its limits, right? So let's put that on there. Just try and get the machine just to fire over if I can, which would be good. Any signs of life is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's good enough for me. So that all fires up. First thing to do is just remove these handles, because they're all snapped and broken. That's the first thing I want to do, but I'm guessing could possibly have issues with regards to the nuts on here. Maybe someone's tried to been in here before and tried to remove them. If they have and they're sheared off and got a bit of a pickle of a job, it means removing the entire back part of the mower casing. But hopefully this one will come out. If this one comes out, then we could be on a bit of a winner, but I doubt it will. No, it's coming. It's going to come out, I think. Because Pete's given me a complete set of handles for this. Wow, that's one of the first times I've ever known that to happen. I've got the other side to do yet, so we're not out the woods yet. So I'm going to remove the lower section of handle. So I do have a complete section for this, but I'm going to try and keep the top part if I can. So I just want to remove these bits and pieces here, just hardware. Take that out. And the same the other side, that was already out by the looks of it. And then we should be able to pull that one out. That's the one that's snapped and broken. I want to get a 10mm before I demolish the rest of the shed. I'll get a 10mm and remove the pull cord assembly off of this handle. So I'll fit the new ones on. That might be going the wrong way maybe. and I'm going to remove the cable from the machine. I'm going to remove the throttle and the dead man's handle. Okay, to remove the throttle is a 10mm or Phillips screw head. Slacken that right off. I'm going to take that right out. I don't know if that cable's being good or not. It looks a bit perished one end, but we'll take it off for now. Maybe we can straighten it or do something with it a bit later on. So that comes out, and then a pair of long nose snips to remove the dead man. Squeeze it in, and then just take a bit of a pull on it. It's quite hard because there's nothing to get hold of here. These springs are generally quite well on there. I don't want to break this cable unless I have to. I don't want to break it at all, really. There it goes. Lift that up, and that come off as well then. And now we've got the complete top side of the handle removed, which we can reinstate later on. Now, the next bit of the problem is we're going to be removing these two, because generally these just shear off and they spin. Nope, that one's going to come. Oh, looking good so far, but it's always the last one, isn't it? It's always the last one that causes problems. It's spinning. Now it's coming. Oh, fantastic. Anyone that does these lawnmowers will know exactly what I'm thinking about, because if these don't come out, you have to remove the wheel's back axle, and then this whole piece comes out to remove the captive nuts inside, and they are an absolute pig to do. I have done a video on that where I've done a complete swap. Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the donor set of handles in. I need to find another one of these I'll have in my spare tray of bits and bobs, and then we can fit the handles. So I've got the air filter, no air filter. Okay, so first things first, set of handles on. I'm going to take it outside, give it a quick wash off, blow off and what have you, just to make it, get rid of all this dust and muck. It's a 2014 model by the looks of it, so not that old, but hopefully we can get this machine to look quite nice. So yeah, quick tidy up and bring the new handles back in. Okay, so I haven't cleaned it off yet. I've got the donor handles, and these should fit pretty much like for like, is what I'm hoping. So let's put one of these in, just to start it off. Now sometimes these nuts they drop ever so slightly, so that you can't get them in. Hopefully it's not going to be the case. It's gone in. If we get 3 tightened up, I'll be super happy. I'll be as happy as Larry. So that one's in. And that one's in. So let's now spin it around. Not spinning very well. What's going on here? Oh, I've got a cable in the way, that's fine. And the handles. Let's now turn it around and go for the other one. Now I can't remember which one was actually missing. Let's try that one first. See how that goes. So that's going to go. So let me now go and find a spare one in my spare tray of bits and bobs. In fact, that's not going to go in there. It might be this one here. I'll try and get that one lined up first. So it takes. This is always a problem with these. I've sometimes had to put a bolt all the way through. So let's get one to take. generally what happens is they drop. So I think that one has. Oh no, it might have taken. No, it has taken. Cool. So just one more to put into there, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, a standard SV150 engine bolt. The bolts the engine's on, they fit straight into there, and I've got it all in now. That's all done nice and tight. So now we have a successful handle transplant. I can now fit the top end of the handles back on, and then we can get to work on this engine to see what's actually going on with it and see if we can't get the fire up and what have you. So I'm going to refit the handles all back on where they belong. That way we have a complete lawnmower, and we can then get to work on it. Okay, so the handle's now back on, but the throttle is not moving as free as I would like, and these are absolutely renowned for this. And they cost about £17 to replace, which is something I'm not willing to pay for. So because the throttle is actually seized, the throttle lever is good. I'm either going to just try and take the throttle out so that I can lubricate it and get it to run more freely. Right, there's Mrs. P on the old phone. Right, I've got this throttle cable, and it is free to a degree, but it's not running as well as I would like, and I can't get the cable oiler onto it. So I have seen this little hack before. I don't know if you've seen it before. Just get a standard Briggs & Stratton gasket bag or something similar. It has to be polythene. Cut it so it's open one end and just cut the corner on the other, and then thread the cable through like so. Okay, and then you need to just tape off this bit here so it's liquid tight. And then if you open that up and spray your lubricant through there and just hang it up, eventually it must be full up to this level here, eventually it'll feed down. So let me just get it prepared and I'll come back to you. Right, here's a little Riley boy. What have you been doing with Nana today, Riley?
Making cake.
You've been doing what?
Making cake.
You've been making cakes? Well, they can't see you. Where are you?
Oh, coming.
Oh, here he is.
Wait, when you get bigger?
Yeah.
We're coming.
So here's the little device, the little hack. So it's all just been taped up down the bottom, as you can see. So it's all liquid tight. All you do is you get your oil, whatever your substance of it, whatever you choose to use. I'm going to use like a 3-in-1. Put some in there.
Come.
And then just tip it up, and it can't leak out the bottom of here. You see, so you just have to hold it and let magic do its thing, let gravity take over. You might have to get in here, a pair of pliers, and pull this cable up a few times, but just leave it be, and when you see it start coming out the end, you know that your cable's well oiled, then you can work it a bit better, and it should start to go through. So I'll just give it 2 or 3 minutes. It is going down. Just give it 2 or 3 minutes just to work its way in, and then I'll come back to you in a bit. So as you can see, it's started to feed all the way in now. See, I've got a little bit, tiny bit left now. So there's only a very, very small amount of spillage, nothing down here. So it's not actually gone outside the arm, outside the cable. It's actually going in. There it goes, it's gone in now. So now we've got a bit of oil all the way in. You can now remove that quite successfully. Keep that for the next one. And now you've got oil running down this cable. So what you can do is now pin this up somewhere and just move this cable to and fro until it comes out the bottom of this one. Eventually your entire cable will be well lubricated. So there's a nice little hack for you. Okay, so that throttle cable has now all been put on and is all working as it should do. It was a bit fiddly, but it's now doing it. Everything is just absolutely filthy, but what I'm looking to do is just literally try and get the machine to run now on its own accord. That's the idea, before I go any further. I might have to do a carburetor clean yet, so I'm just going to put an air filter in. It didn't have one. So I'm going to check the fuel situation. Cool. Can't know if I can get it undone. My word. Oh. God, who did that up? Roy's a boy. Oh. Oh, there it goes. Absolutely bone dry, and actually there's quite a bit of muck in there, I can see. So let me get a bit of blue roll, clean this out, and I'll come back. Right, so I had to put loads of blue roll down the old fuel tank. Absolutely filthy in there. I don't want to incorporate any more dirt in this carburetor. The chances are this carburetor does need cleaning, but we shall wait and see. Throttle cable's been repaired, dead man's handle back on, and my good friend Pete Frow's donated the handles to this, which is all now fitted. Let's try and see if we can't get it to run. Just want to see which way is choke on this. Choke is all the way forward. So now let me just try and fire this machine up, and we'll just see what happens. I'm not expecting it to start, but it would be nice if it's just done a little something. Let's have a look. I'm sure there's no tools underneath the machine. I've been working it. I hope there's not. Right, let's have a little pull and see what happens then. It'd be nice if it just jumped into life and ran like an absolute stamper, but I don't think it will. Let's have a look. Right, on choke, dead man in, and let's see what happens. Absolutely nothing at all. So let's get a bit of carb spray and just see if we can't encourage it just to jump into life. Now there's fresh fuel in there, and I'll tell you what we'll also do. We'll flood that carburetor whilst we're at it. There's no telling there's any fuel down in here. So let's just pull this overflow nut off. See if we get any fuel come out. Not seeing no fuel yet. Yep, there's fuel and water. There's fuel and water, so let's get rid of all this muck coming out. That's definitely water because it's not dissipating like fuel would, and it's not running out the carburetor as it should do. So no, carburetor's got to have to come off. Oh, we're getting a bit of fuel. We're getting a bit of fuel now. Not a lot though. We'll try it now. So it won't run on water. If they invent one to run on water, I'm out of business. Let's clean that off because that will affect the paintwork. As you can see, that's water there. That's not evaporating. So that's definitely water. Right, let's try and see what happens now. Bit of a squirt in there. This should now jump into life. I'm expecting carburetor clean now though. Yeah, carburetor clean. It wants to fire, but it's not firing. So let me take the carburetor off. It's only 1, 2, 3 or 4 bolts, and then the carburetor drops off. I've got loads of videos on how to take these carburetors off, so check them out. And we'll put it on the bench and see what happens. Right, so got the old Pender tray on the old bench. Bit of blue rag down in my tray, so I want to capture anything that's in here. And I want my 10mm impact. Make sure it's undoing, not doing up. And then just crack the main bolt, bump, just shock it, and then we can then undo this this main nut. No fuel in there, which is to be expected. And I can then shock this one as well, hopefully. There it goes. Oh, look at that stuff there, look. Look at it, that's yummy. Look at that stuff. Oh my lord. O-ring's gone, and we just got, oh, it looks like some kind of sludge. O-ring's completely had it. Ah, my lord. This is lovely. Absolutely beautiful carburetor. We've got a slow running jet to take out as well here. Let me do that. Just undo that and pull that out. And then I'm going to take the main jet out of here if it'll come out. So give us 2 ticks to get tied up here. This is disgusting. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. So the bowl I'm just going to leave for now with the float. I can just sit there and do what it's got to do. That's disgusting. Actually smells like someone's taking a poop in my carburetor. Let's undo this one. Take that out. A little bit of not carb cleaner. I'll just put a little tiny bit of WD-40 on there, just to get rid of some of this muck on the top. But I don't want to introduce anything else. This may be a job for a carburetor cleaner. We should see. Take the old slow running jet. That came out really easy. Really easy. But the O-rings are in place, which is good. So I'm going to give us a quick blast off with the old air compressor. Just get rid of all the muck that's on here. And I want to try and remove the jet now if I can. If that jet comes out, we're on a winner. If it don't, game over. Oh. Is that coming or not? I don't know if that's coming. It didn't feel like it was. Actually is. Lovely. For a minute there I thought that was going to snap. So we want to win with that. Let's take that out. Absolutely plugged. Can't see nothing through that. It's got like a film all the way around it. Is that a film? Absolutely hideous. There's no way it's ever going to run. And I want to try and get the tube out if I can, because if the if the main jet was that bad, the tubes would be just as bad. There's a tube. Let's have a little investigation. Oh my lord, look, yummy, yummy, yummy stuff. So, right, I'm gonna put this in the ultrasonic cleaner, I think, because it is particularly bad inside, as you can see. So let me go and fire my kettle up, get some hot water on the go. I only use washing up soapy liquid stuff to clean my stuff up. People have said to use chemicals, but I don't. Never have done, probably never will do. I've got O-rings to about to fit this. Put it through the cleaner, give it a bit of a happy birthday bath where I can, just to try and clean it all up, and then I'll come back once it's gone through the cleaner for reassembly. Right, carburetor's now been done. It's not looking too bad. It's a bit scuzzy in places still, but it was shocking. But it's had about 40 minutes total, 20 minutes each side. I've got to clean the bowl out separately. Give that a final clean. That ain't come up too bad. But the actual float just needs a bit of clean off as it's come out. So the inside of the carburetor is not brilliant either. I've seen a lot better results, but it was particularly bad. I'm going to try and loosen some of it up with just a toothbrush and give it a bit of a clean up and see how we get on. But I believe all the holes are now clear inside this carburetor. So I'm going to give it a bit of a clean up just here on the float and just try and get rid of some of this other bit of debris here, but a lot of it is corrosion, and you can't really remove the corrosion too well. So yeah, with the corrosion, you won't remove a lot of that. So I'm going to get a bit of a shot of WD-40 just to try and clear up some of the pieces that the ultrasonic cleaner didn't get to. But as I say, I'm overall happy with it. So I'm going to put this carburetor back together, and then we'll go back to the machine, and then we'll fit it to the machine, hopefully get this machine to fire now on its own accord, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so carburetor's now here. I do actually have a spare carburetor for this, but I'm not willing to put it on just yet. I want to see if this one works or fails, but so we should see. So hook the choke on first, and then just run the choke into this little tiny housing, which is about there. Then you can then drop the carburetor down into position, which would be about there. And it'll slide in a bit of gunk on this gasket, so I'll take that off. Let's get half a chance. Slide all that back, and then hook your throttle up, and then hook your carburetor spring up. So that's all on. So that all now works on the governor as it should do. I'm going to hook your fuel line up now. Now I've had to stretch mine slightly to make it fit, because it was cracked one end, and there's a filter inside the tank which I've had to take off because it was all clogged up. So let me try and get this fuel line back on. I'll come back to when I've done it. It's going to be a bit of a tight fit, this is, because there's not a lot of fuel line left. So give us 2 ticks and I'll come back. Right, so I've got fuel line on now. It's a bit tight, so I had to cut a bit off, but it is on. So that's good. So let me just put this clamp on right on the edge, so it clamps it in place. That ain't going nowhere. That's all on. I can now bring in the air box, which will also have a little gasket, which will go on that way, like so. So that all goes on. And then you've got your crankcase breather to put on. There's one nut there. There'll be another nut floating about somewhere. There it is. Stick that on. 2 nuts to do up, which are your 10 mils. Air filter back on. And then we'll double check to run it up now. I have drained the fuel right out. There's also a bit of water at the bottom of that tank. So I've flushed the tank all the way through. So now it won't be a problem for me. So let me just run these up, put the airbox back in, and I'll come back. Right, so I turn all the fuel back on and what have you, or just remove the clamps, and it's started absolutely lashing out of fuel, and it would appear that the carburetor that come off of it is possibly too far gone. And as luck would have it, I have a brand new carburetor here, which I got cheap from Garden Hire Spares. I think it was around about, I want to say about a tenner. for an SV200 carburetor, that's really cheap. I picked a couple up, so I had to fit that. This carburetor, I'm not going to give up on it. I just got a feeling it wants another couple of rounds in the solid cleaner. It's just not doing its job, so that I'm not going to give up on. I'll put it back in another box and we'll keep hold of it. But now, as you can see, it's not leaking. So we'll go outside and give it a fire up. The oil is fine. I have checked the oil. That's absolutely good as gold, and looks really good too. If it runs, I should then sharpen the blade, all that sort of good stuff. But first of all, I want to get it running first. I'll get a bit of a tidy up before we go outside, and we'll see if it starts. Right, here it is. It's got to have a jet wash off yet, all that sort of good stuff, but it's looking pretty presentable. Let's now give it a fire up, see if it won't start and run properly as it should do. Now it's got a new carburetor on there. We should wait and see. Okay, so this little lawnmower, although it runs absolutely beautiful now, it is smoking considerably. So I have now just removed the valve cover. I'm going to be checking the valves on it and possible head gasket. Do the valves first. I'll do it tomorrow once the engine's cooled down. Check the valves, make sure they're fine. All is as it should be. So there's no reason why it should be smoking, apart from other than the possible head gasket, or the valves have got a fault, or they're just too tight or too loose, one or the other. So that'll do for now for this video. I'll let you know how it gets on in the next video, hopefully, and hopefully we can get it sorted out and get it running as it should do, because it's ticking over and running beautiful, just smoking a little tiny bit though. What do you think it could be? I think it's the valves. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Micks Mowers. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, hit the old subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all, and I look forward to seeing the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. Until then, people, don't forget, more importantly, take her easy.